Hi everyone! This week we're coming to you from Marseille, France, and we're so excited to be here. We've heard such great things about the food and restaurant scene here, and there's so many places we want to try. From a centuries-old bakery to some really new and innovative spots, we can't wait to start eating our way through this city. And if you're new here, we're Alex, Mehmet, and Bindi, and we travel the world looking for the best food spots as well as the most dog-friendly places. Let's go eat.
To start off our day here in Marseille, we found two sandwich places and they both look so amazing. So we decided to go to both of them rather than just one. We're going to start off with Pain à l'Île. So what they're doing at the sandwich shop is they're taking traditional Provençal dishes and turning them into amazing looking sandwiches. So we're both very excited.
In this sandwich, we have juicy beef daube, a traditional beef stew from Provence, served inside a classic French baguette.
The bread is warm. Wow. It tastes exactly like a stew. This is so good. The meat is literally falling apart in my mouth.
This was a delicious and decadent sandwich, so full of that warming, beefy flavor from the stew and the juices soaked into the perfectly baked bread, which was substantial enough to keep from getting soggy.
The bread is so crunchy. It's really good.
Also, everyone here was so nice and friendly. As tempting as it was to order two of these sandwiches instead of just sharing one, when I saw the size of our next sandwich, I was glad we didn't. For our next sandwich, we're heading to a place called Razzia, and the chef here says they're making the sandwiches that they've always dreamed of eating, and I've been dreaming of these ever since I saw them, so I can't wait. This sandwich was huge and full of flavor. It started with bread that was soft yet hearty, and it was absolutely stuffed with so many fresh ingredients.
There's a ton of goat cheese in here, and sweet potato that's cooked so it's like really soft.
Yes, it'll look huge in there.
This thing was just so packed with flavor. And don't even attempt to look cute while eating this. It's so stuffed with ingredients that it's impossible to eat it without making a bit of a mess. Marseille was definitely off to a delicious start, and we were ready for some post-sandwich coffees. So, fun fact, Marseille is actually where coffee arrived in France.
From where? From where?
From the Ottomans, I believe, because there's a major port here. And you may have heard us complain about the coffee scene in general in France just not being that great. It can be hard to find a good coffee. But I've heard that Marseille actually has a really good coffee culture, and we're headed to a place now that I've heard great things about, so I'm really hopeful.
I'll take you to the coffee shop.
Our first foray into Marseille's coffee scene was at Brûlerie MÖKA, a friendly, cozy cafe. Our coffees here were excellent. They were strong and rich, yet smooth and balanced. This place was also really chill and unpretentious. If we lived here, we know this would be a regular spot for us. Marseille is France's oldest city and has some traditional foods that have been around a long time, including a type of biscuit that was first invented over 2 centuries ago. Fort de Navettes is a bakery that's been here in Marseille for over 200 years, and I've heard it's the best place to get the traditional biscuit, the Navettes, so we're gonna go try that. So we just got our Navettes, and we've come down here to the port to give them a try. They're much bigger and thicker than I was expecting them to be. It's pretty dense.
They are heavy.
Oh. I'm gonna take a lot of chew. So, these are flavored with orange blossom. You can definitely taste the orange blossom in them, which is nice. But I think you really need to eat them with coffee or tea or something, because they're pretty dense.
Okay, after Alex really sold these biscuits, I'm gonna give it a try. I got the one that you already bit. Yeah, if you're gonna try these, get tea. It's gonna be pretty good with tea.
These navettes were fine, but definitely not our favorite, so we were off to try another specialty of this region. We've got a little bit of time before our dinner reservation, so there is a drink that's really popular around here that we're gonna go try. So, we got a glass of pastis, which...
Lemonade.
This liquor...
It tastes, well, not taste, it smells like Turkish rakı. If you know what that is, if you don't know what that is, it's like ouzo, basically. It's exactly smells like ouzo. Very curious.
Pretty sure I'm gonna hate it, but Mehmet might like it.
We'll see. Yeah, it tastes actually it tastes like more like ouzo, because I think ouzo is more smooth than rakı. Rakı is sharper. This tastes a lot like ouzo. It's not bad. You might not like this. Okay, well, here goes Al.
I'll give it a try. I already hate the smell. Sorry.
I told you.
Nope.
Yeah. Sure?
Yeah,
You sure?
yeah. Eager to move on to something else, it was time for dinner.
We have been walking around and eating everything that we see in Marseille. Now we're gonna go get some dinner at a place called Ciel, which means sky in French. Let's go eat.
Ciel is a rooftop spot with dreamy views and trendy vibes. Sadly, the food didn't live up to the sky-high setting. I ordered the rigatoni alla matriciana, and I loved these crispy guanciale bits on it, but that was about it. The rest of the flavors weren't really there, and the pasta was a bit overcooked. Mehmet's truffle pizza was a little better, but lacked any real truffle flavor and didn't taste like homemade pizza dough. Despite this disappointing meal, we were really coming to love Marseille after just one day here. It's beautiful and has a very friendly, energetic vibe. Good morning from Marseille. We have another full day of eating ahead of us, but first we're going to start the day with some coffees and maybe a little treat because the place that we're going looks really good. For this morning's coffee, we headed to Petrin Couchette. Just like yesterday, these coffees were also really good. And we enjoyed a slice of delicious marble cake along with them, while wishing we had this many reliably good coffee shops where we live. And while we're on the subject of coffee, we should also mention Ben Motor. We stopped in there shortly after arriving in Marseille and loved the coffees here too.
Marseille is one of the oldest cities here in France, and historically it has been one of the most important cities because of its port. And because of its port, it is very diverse, especially in the food. There's a lot of Mediterranean as well as North African food influences here, and you can definitely see it in the restaurant. So with that being said, we're going to go to a place called Chez Yassine, I think it's called. We're very excited for this, and it's a Tunisian restaurant.
Chez Yassine is one of the most popular restaurants in Marseille, and I've heard rave reviews about their legendary chickpea soup, so we were pretty sad about what happened next.
So unfortunately, Chez Yassine was closed, so now we're going to walk to our backup restaurant, which is called Ippon.
Our lunch started with an anchovy potato salad, which I absolutely loved. The potatoes were tender with a light dressing, and the anchovies added a salty, tangy bite. And yes, it took me 3 tastes before I realized that was butter for the bread on the side of the plate and not something that was meant to be eaten with the potato salad. Moving on to mains, Mehmet had this delicious bowl of pasta with beef that was absolutely covered in a mountain of freshly grated Parmesan and chives. I went with the aioli, which is another favorite in this region. You might know aioli as mayonnaise, but when you see it on a menu in France, it refers to a meal's worth of items to dip in aioli. This plate was full of delicious things to dip in the creamy aioli with a mix of crunch, softness, saltiness, and freshness. While we were eating, we saw the chef behind the counter preparing a dessert, and it looked so good we couldn't leave without trying it. It was a freshly baked waffle topped with caramel sauce and some homemade whipped cream, and just so good.
We enjoyed our lunch at Ippon, and now we are headed back to the Noailles neighborhood, which is where we were originally going to have lunch. But there is a coffee shop there that has been serving coffee and biscuits for over 100 years, so we're going to go give that a try.
Torrefaction Noailles is a legendary spot in Marseille for their perfect cups of coffee. Given that this place has been around for such a long time, I think it really set the bar high for the rest of the coffee in this city. And maybe that's why all of these coffee shops have been so good. We enjoyed 2 espressos in their lovely store. I admit, when we first saw the big flashy sign outside and how cutesy the atmosphere was, we weren't sure if this place was going to be worth it, but we were quickly proven wrong.
So I was a little bit worried when we walked in there that it was going to be a tourist trap. It was definitely just like a lot more pristine and cute and nice than I was expecting. But the coffees were great. We really enjoyed it and would definitely recommend it.
So in the 1930s, apparently the fresh juice here was considered super healthy and really good for you. And there were a lot of stands that would sell fresh juices here. And apparently one of those stands is still standing. So now we're going to go try one of those juices.
Or so we thought.
Unfortunately, we're striking out a bit today. The juice stand is closed. It's too bad.
So since the juice spot was closed, we're gonna go get some grape juice.
We ended up finding this great wine bar where we enjoyed a glass of wine along with a delicious cheese plate. As always, we'll link all the places we ate in the comments below, but we definitely recommend checking out this spot if you're in Marseille.
We have a dinner reservation in a bit, but before that, I'm hoping we can fit in one more snack. There's a place here that makes some really awesome looking eclairs, so we're gonna go try those.
We'd been eating very well in Marseille, but these pastries were next level. Hands down, maybe the best thing we ate on this trip. This shop had so many interesting flavors, it was hard to choose just 2.
All right, so I got the ebony, and he said the chocolate is 60% from Ghana. He said if you love chocolate, you should get this one. So I do like chocolate. Ooh, so soft. If I can get it.
Yeah.
It's very chocolatey, but it's not sweet. It's so soft. Wow.
Mine had a rich, nutty pistachio filling and a tangy, sweet raspberry sauce. All stuffed in this perfectly baked choux pastry, it was so good. And then it was unfortunately time for our last meal in Marseille. Like we mentioned, Marseille has a huge international food scene, and tonight we went with a Lebanese restaurant. We started off with some hummus topped with beetroot, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I think this is the best hummus I've ever had. It was so smooth and creamy, and the beets on top added just a little extra sweetness and texture. We also shared a plate of deliciously tender asparagus and artichoke, as well as some beans cooked in this warm, flavorful sauce, making them so soft and tender. But our favorite dish was the shawarma. This plate had super soft shredded lamb meat that had been slowly cooked for 7 hours, stuffed inside thin bread with a spicy tahini sauce, yogurt, and some pickled onions. It was truly just such a great combination of flavors that we couldn't get enough of.
So we thought we'd just take a minute and reflect a bit on our time here in Marseille. If you are thinking about coming here, you may have heard like a bad reputation about this city, and honestly, that's what so many people told us before we came, like, oh, it's dangerous, there's so much crime, and like, there's nothing to do there. But it's really overblown, I have to say.
Yeah.
We've only been here 2.5 days, but no different than any other major city, and so much cool stuff and great food. I think it's really worth a visit.
And the food was great. People have been insanely friendly.
Yeah.
And for France, it feels like this city is the city where people speak the most English.
When we know we only had a limited amount of time experiencing Marseille, we really enjoyed it. We found it to be very welcoming, and we're sure we'll be back. And most importantly, Bindi liked it too. Just like most places in France, Marseille is super dog-friendly and it's a very easy city to visit with a dog. Thanks for watching. Please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. It really helps our channel. And be sure to subscribe because we have lots of exciting adventures coming up. Next week, we're going to visit Monaco and see how much it actually costs to eat in such a glamorous city. And after that, we'll be checking out some of the best food destinations in Italy. We promise you won't want to miss it.